Sad reality behind why Sigma males ignore people. One aspect of the Sigma male personality that can be really frustrating is how they tend to ignore people. These lone wolves have no problem blocking people out of their lives, but why do they do it? There is a dark truth behind why Sigma men tend to ignore people. The core reason is not something everyone can stomach, because instead of accepting the sad reality, people want to live in fairy tales and wish everyone likes and accepts them even if they are terrible people. Sigma men do not roll that way. In fact, they do not roll over for anyone. In case you missed the memo, don't worry. Here are 7 reasons why Sigma men ignore people. I want us to make this interactive. Share your story and experiences in the comments. First things first, stop slacking on it. Subscribe to the channel right now for quality men stuff. Here I say things the way they are, no messing around. Number 1. Sigma men see through the lies. We live in a world where people are simply fooling each other. People pretend to be nice and all that, but in reality, they are just doing it to get something out of it. Don't get me wrong. There is nothing wrong with people being nice, but it is absolutely baloney when it is not genuine. People who say nice things in your presence are the same people saying nasty things behind you. So if a Sigma male decides to ignore someone, it is not because he hates that person. It is because he has seen the red flags that show that person is not deserving of attention. Now let me break it down a bit further for you. When someone is labeled as a pretender, it means they're not being genuine. They might be pretending to be something they're not. And Sigma men can spot this a mile away. It's like having a sixth sense for spotting insincerity. Sigma men value authenticity in their relationships because they want real connections, not fake ones. As for patronizers, these are folks who act condescending or superior towards others. Sigma men, being keen observers, quickly notice when someone is trying to talk down to them or treat them as if they're beneath them. It's not a pleasant feeling, and Sigma men prefer to steer clear of such situations. Number 2. Sigma men value their time too much. I will not sugarcoat it. Sigma men are stingy with their time, and they do not care if you think they are too self-centered. This attitude is what makes Sigma men stand out from all other personalities. The truth is, no one likes having his time wasted, but they care too much about what people will say or feel. That is why they would hang out with people they do not even like. Not Sigma men. Sigma men have no problem saying no to those they think are time wasters. The time of a Sigma male is just too important to him that it seems like torture when he is forced to waste it around people he does not want to be with. If a Sigma male thinks you are a waste of his time, trust me, he would tell you. Now here is the funniest part. It is possible to find the Sigma male doing nothing with his time. Funny, right? May seem funny and confusing, but it makes perfect sense to the Sigma male that he spends his time sleeping than chit-chatting with some dudes he does not want to be with. And that leads us to the next point. Number 3. Sigma men just want to be left alone. This one is a bit hard to explain because it has to do with the way the mind of Sigma men work. But let me make it simple. Sigma men have mood swings. There are just times all they want is to be left alone, and they get really annoyed if you cannot leave them alone in these moments. If you are a woman and in a relationship with a Sigma male, you must understand that it means nothing. So stop stressing yourself that he is not responding to you when you are trying to talk to him. Once you understand this, you can really enjoy your relationship with a Sigma man. Sigma men can only be friends with those who respect them enough to give them moments to just be alone. These lone wolves hate it when you bug them with questions about why they are refusing to socialize. People might see them as standoffish or aloof, but that's not the case, my friend. They're just wired a bit differently. It's like having a favorite cozy spot where you can unwind. And when you get it, you're happier and more relaxed. Sigma men are similar. They just need their own mental chill-out zone to feel their best. So don't mistake their desire for solitude as a lack of interest in others. They appreciate their friends and the occasional social outing. Sigma men are not always thinking of something deep and important. The man just wants to be alone. And it does not matter what he is thinking at that moment. What is important is that he is left alone. Number 4. People are too repetitive. My friend, let's break this down in simpler terms. You see, Sigma men tend to give people the cold shoulder because they feel like talking to them is like listening to a broken record. It's like when you watch your favorite movie for the 100th time, and you already know all the lines by heart. In other words, they find these conversations repetitive and dull. Now, imagine this. You're chatting with someone, and every time you do, it's like a never-ending loop of the same old stuff. They talk about the weather, their job, and what they had for breakfast, and it's like you can predict their next words before they even say them. It's as if you're stuck in a Groundhog Day of conversations. So Sigma guys just can't help but feel like they've heard it all before. So in the end, it's not really about ignoring people. It's about searching for those rare gems of conversation that keep them engaged and eager for more. Number 5. Sigma men are busy men. Sigma men, they're like those really busy bees. Always have something buzzing in their heads, something they're working on. Sigma men live very purposefully and are always intentional in what they do. This keeps them grounded and gives them a reason to keep going. This is one of the reasons why Sigma men do not get bored the same way most people get bored. These men may take breaks, but they are soon eager to get back to work. You know how it is when you've got a bunch of tasks piling up, and you just can't sit still until you've checked them all off. Well, that's how Sigma men feel all the time. It's like they've got this itch. This needs to be constantly doing something productive. It's in their blood. They're so driven, so focused on their projects, that they can forget the world around them. Number 6, you need to earn their attention. You know, maestro, when you value your time, people need to earn it. You do not just give it away like it costs nothing, and you can afford to sit and chit-chat all day like you got nothing to do. Yeah, I get it. Most people do it. But Sigma men are not most people. See, Sigma guys, they're like lone wolves, always marching to the beat of their own drum. They're not big on following the crowd or making small talk just for the sake of it. So when it comes to giving their attention to someone, they're a bit picky. Think about it this way. If you want a Sigma dude to notice you, you have to bring something interesting to the table. Show them you're not just another run-of-the-mill person. That's when they might start paying attention, my friend. Number 7. They are usually misunderstood. It's like this. Sigma men often get a bad rap because they behave differently from what most people expect. One of these behaviors is them being very straightforward. Sigma men are very bad at telling lies or being diplomatic. If you ask their opinion about something, expect an honest answer from them, even if you do not like their answer. They do not care much. Because of the high level of engagement of these men, they are often misunderstood, and it is common for people to give Sigma men bad labels. Now, here's the deal. Sigma men don't feel the need to constantly explain themselves to others. It's not because they're being standoffish or don't care about people. It's just that they don't crave approval like some folks do. They value their independence and don't feel the need to seek validation from others all the time by explaining themselves. So, when you see a Sigma guy ignoring people or not always engaging in small talk, don't take it personally. It's not about you. It's about their mindset. They're not desperate for approval or attention, and that's what makes them unique. It's like they've got this inner confidence that doesn't require constant validation from the outside world. Sigma men's independence often leads them to think outside the box. They're not afraid to challenge the status quo or question conventional wisdom. So while they may seem like they're ignoring the crowd, they might be onto something unique and groundbreaking. Now, why do they do this? Well, it's partly because they're not driven by the same need for social connection that many others are. They're more focused on their own goals and passions, and they don't let societal pressures dictate their choices. It's a bit like they've cracked the code to inner contentment without relying on external validation. Always remember that it is all about valuing yourself and not getting caught up in senseless socializing. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and watch this one as well. Thanks for watching.